if you sin, and you did, then God has no choice but to kill you, just like he said he did up here. He took out, he killed. That's the penalty. That's the righteous requirement of the law. There was a death first. Then he gives you the heart. What comes first? In the beginning, he's just telling you what he's doing. This is the how he did what he told you he's going to do. There's a death first, a taking out, and then there's a new creature given. They both can't exist at the same time. Then that would be two of you. And God said, I ain't having it. Now, despise that, which should lead you, what is repentance then? If it's not asking God to forgive me of sins. The repentance is changing your mind about yourself. What was the people's problem in Romans 1 and 2 before these verses? Let's go look. Let's go look at what was the problem so that you can see it. And why that repentance can't mean repenting of sins. What people claim that that's what that is, but it's not. So here it is right here. Look at this. It starts off by saying, the just shall live by faith. Faith? Yeah, God's faith. But they're not. How do I know that? Because he comes down here and say, hey, I'm going to pour out wrath on those rascals. So they can't be justified by faith. Why not? Because they have all this ungodly and unrighteousness. They suppress the truth. What truth? That the law of sin and death apply to you. That you can't keep the law. Even though the book makes it clear that you can't. You say, oh, yes, I can. You don't know what you're talking about, God. I keep your law perfectly, God. I only eat what you tell me I can eat. I go to sleep when you tell me to go to sleep. I honor my mother and father all the time. I do my best not to lie. I say my prayers. I do this, I do that. God says, I don't care. Why not? Because all that can produce is sin and death. So don't tell me about your law keeping. Don't you understand? You have to be equal with me. That's why you need my son. Because he is equal with me. So, what do we see? Just suppression of truth and all this stuff, right? They changed the glory of God and gave it to some idols. They became futile in their thoughts, and their foolish hearts were even darker than it was stone. Then they professed themselves to be wise, and they became fools, and God gave them up to uncleanness. And for this reason, God gave them up to vile passion, and they didn't want to retain God's in their knowledge, and God gave those rascals over to what he calls a debased mind. Debased mind? What in the world is a debased mind? It's when you can't tell a man from a woman. It's a form of insanity. And the debased mind not only do that, but then they turn around and do all this stuff right here. And I don't even read all of that. But then he keeps coming and he says, hey, knowing the righteous judgment of God. What is the righteous judgment of God for people like that? Oh, before you go pointing to somebody else, friend, he's talking about you. Oh, and before I accuse you, he's talking about me. What is the righteous judgment, God, for all of us who practice those things. What about us, God? God says you rascals deserve nothing but death. Death. God said you deserve it. Why? Because you not only do the same, but you give hearty approval and you include them in participating in your wretchedness. Yes, we all did. If you ever committed fornication, if you ever lied, if you ever stole, if you ever done anything against the law, that's you. Then he continues. Now you gotta remember, there's no chapter and verse in these letters. Somebody put that mess there. And you now are thinking you're on to some other topic. No, you're not on to some other topic. He's continuing from chapter 1. They shouldn't have broke this stuff up. It's helpful so that you and I can read chapter and verse. But this is a continual letter. And he's still talking about the same thing in the same people. Therefore, you, O wicked, rotten people who deserve death, you are inexcusable to a holy God. Whoever you are who judge, for in whatever you judge another, you condemn yourself. So I ain't going around judging anybody. Get out of here. We all do it. For you who judge, practice the same thing. So I don't murder anybody. No, you don't have to. Have you ever been angry? Oh yeah, well, that's murder in God's eyes. Have you ever wanted something that didn't belong to you? Yeah, well, that's idolatry in God's eyes. Covetousness. So what are you talking about? Oh, you're not as openly brazen with your sin as others. But you practice the same things, man. So what? So you're a little more kind. You slap somebody, but you tap them instead of pow. No, let's move on. So then he talks about you're going to get the same truth that God's going to give to them. You're going to be condemned. Do you think, oh man, you who practice these things, judge, and do the same, that you're going to escape? Then he comes to verse 4. You see, it's a continuation, friends, of what he was talking about from chapter 1. All right.